Welcome to the first episode of the Final Whistle. I'm premiering something new here on the channel where we recap every single primetime game Thursday, Sunday, and Monday. You're going to be here on the Final Whistle after every single game. And let's get it started with obviously the best division in football, the NFC East, and they did not disappoint. And Shaman Juan got it here as a Commanders fan, but boy, I'll tell you, man, this game started off crazy. Even before you can get to the first snap of the game, you already had some action with some despicable, nasty, nothing that you ever want to see on a football field. A disgusting act by Jalen Carter as he spit on Dak Prescott. And I commend Dak Prescott for holding his composure in the moment, because I don't know how a person should or would react in that moment. Or actually, I do. I understand how a lot of people would have reacted in that moment. And there are some people that wouldn't have took that lightly. Some people would have absolutely lost their mind had Jalen Carter spit. I mean, I'm not even talking about accidental. It was purposely done. And now you hurt your team before you even get a chance to play. Now, I did see another angle where it looked like Dak Prescott spit near him or in his direction, and maybe that's what prompted Jalen Carter to do such thing. But you know what they say. You know what they always say. It's always the person that does something in retaliation that gets caught. Now, not only did you just hurt your team for tonight not being in the mix, but now you'll probably be facing some punishment from the league, meaning that you'll probably be facing a multiple game suspension. And as we've seen tonight, this Eagles defense, they need Jalen Carter. They cannot survive without Jalen Carter. They need him in that middle. Jordan Davis isn't enough. None of your pass rushers, exterior defensive ends are enough. Nolan Smith, interiorly David Ajabo, right? Like, you need Jalen Carter. He's an absolute beast. And not having him tonight, it showed. Now, Philadelphia ended up winning by a score of 24-20. So at the end of the day, they did get the victory, but it showed, it reared its ugly head throughout this game entirely, especially early on before the weather delay that caused an hour of delays. It reared its ugly head. Javonte Williams was having his way early on. And as much credit as I wanted to give the Cowboys and Dak being able to run the ball, I don't know how it would have looked with Jalen Carter out there. But I will say, for a first game, Brian Schottenheimer, I don't know if he's the play caller in Dallas. He was there under Mike McCarthy for multiple years. So I don't know if he's the necessarily primary play caller, but I like this offense. I like what I saw from Dallas. And even though we love to troll Dallas because they lose or they be trash at times, this is a whole different unit with Dak Prescott. And that's what a lot of Cowboys fans always try to tell us. And for the most part, they're right. When they have Dak Prescott under center, this is a 10-win, 11-win, 12-win team in the past. It's when Dak Prescott gets hurt. It's when Dak Prescott can't finish seasons. They finish below 500. And early on, Dak Prescott was on fire, man. I always tell people this. If you could have a trophy for MVP through the first 3 months of the season, Dak Prescott would be your multi-year back-to-back MVP. Because I don't know if there's a quarterback in the league that starts on fire like Dak Prescott starts his seasons. Because he looked damn good. You couldn't have told me he missed majority of last year with a hamstring injury. It didn't faze him one bit. Coming out being a flamethrower. Coming out being composed in the pocket. Showing slight mobility. Showing the ability to be slippery and not get caught in the backfield on a what should have been a sack. But ultimately, he was able to somehow escape and turn a should have been sack into a 2-3 yard gain. Man, Dak's on one. And for a Commanders fan to be saying this says a lot. Because I hate the Cowboys. I hate the Eagles. But I'm one to keep it real. We saw two quarterbacks battle it out. I was sitting there watching this thing. I'm like, man, why is Jalen Hurts playing so good right now? And I know a lot of people are going to just go to the low-hanging fruit. Oh, he's running the ball a lot. Oh, he's taking off, using his legs, extending the play. That's what he does. That's what he does. He extends plays with his legs. He finds ways to continue to keep the drive going. And some of their rush lanes were so undisciplined in Dallas, and that's where you go to show. That's why you miss a Micah Parsons. You know what I mean? Because some of these runs that Jalen Hurts were able to get, I'm not sure if Micah Parsons was taking away one side or hawking him down, whatnot, he'd have been able to get some of these. I'm talking about early on. That touchdown where he was able to bend the corner and stretch the ball in the pylon, that's Micah Parsons' side. I don't know if you do that when Micah Parsons is right there. But Jalen Hurts, say what you want, man. I know we always love to clown him and call him out of his name in terms of he's not a top 5 quarterback and he's not elite. He's not one of those ones. He doesn't put his team on his back. But you know what he does the best? I'm not going to say out of any quarterback because Patrick Mahomes still exists. But you want to know what he does best? Just like a Patrick Mahomes, he finds the way to win, baby. That's one thing you can say about Jalen Hurts. Say what you want about him as a player. He's not on the level of a Lamar Jackson. He's not on the level of a Justin, a Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, whatever. You can say that all you want. But he finds ways to win. You got to give it to him, man. You have to. He was making all the right plays tonight. How about our old friend Jahan Dotson? What a great catch by Jahan Dotson tonight. But even still, Jalen Hurts with a great ball. Making all the right plays. And for you to have A.J. Brown on a milk carton throughout the whole entire night, what's up with that? I seen a lot of Eagles fans getting on their new offensive play caller. Because, Kellen Moore is in New Orleans now. So, it's different. But I tend to agree. You can't sit up here and tell me Keelan Elam is just straight up having A.J. Brown in shackles. I cannot believe that one bit. I'm not buying that one bit. Trayvon Diggs had an opportunity to clean the clock of Jalen Hurts. And it looked like he came up and stumbled. Now, Jalen Hurts did give him a nice move, but he came up and stumbled. So I'm not going to say he's not 100%, but he's still working his way back and probably trying to find his confidence. There's no way in the right mind on God's green earth do I have A.J. Brown on my team and I don't find a way to get him the ball into the last drive of the game. That's absolute ridiculous.
If I'm the Eagles play caller, if I'm the Eagles offensive coordinator, I'm getting the ball in the hands of A.J. Brown any way I can. And it wasn't like it was just an A.J. Brown thing. All of their receivers were non-existent. Devonta Smith, when Jahan Dotson seems to be, and I'm going out on a limb, but I would just assume if Jahan Dotson's your leading receiver, you got an issue. Now, the run game of Philly, it picked right up where it left off last year. Saquon doing Saquon things. Like, he is that good. And I'm so pissed he's still in the division. That's not even the worst part about it. You know what the worst part about it is? I think something is up with Will Shipley. God damn it. I think they got something with Will Shipley, man. And the worst thing that we could have as NFC East fans having to go up against Philly is having to have another threat in that backfield alongside Saquon Barkley. God damn, man. Why? Why is all I ask. Why are they so good at finding players? Now, flipping this thing on the head and talking about defense, as a Commanders fan, as an offense that I know we're moving the ball up and down the field with ease, oh, I'm rubbing my hands like Birdman. Because both defenses were pitiful tonight. Were trash. I'm looking at Philly's cornerbacks. Whether it's Quinyon Mitchell, Quinyamino Bay, right? Whether it's Quinyon Mitchell and Quinyamino Bay getting pass interference calls, or it's Jacorian Bennett, or it's Sidney Brown. Man, these dudes in the secondary are buns. Like, Adoree Jackson, trash. Unc needs to hang it up. Like, these defenses, man, I'm telling you, I would love to face these defenses every week. Dallas's defense, no better. And I think their defense more so lacked discipline up front, because it wasn't like they were getting killed through the air much tonight. It was more of not being able to contain Jalen Hurts on the ground, not being able to contain Saquon Barkley. Will Shipley let him get off. Right? I'm looking at these defenses, man, and I'm telling you, it's something about these defenses. Last year, this Eagles defense was damn good. Probably the best in the NFL. But we tried to warn them this offseason. You lose Josh Sweat. Brandon Graham retires. You lose C.J. Gardner-Johnson. You lose Milton Williams in that middle. We tried to tell them this defense ain't going to be the same. They're trying to sell us on Vic Fangio's scheme, and it's nothing taken away from Vic Fangio whatsoever. But Vic Fangio had dogs last year. That's the difference between this year. And not saying he doesn't have dogs, but you missed Jalen Carter tonight, which was huge, significant. But dare I say, they don't have a pass rush that scares you. I think if you have a borderline average to mid offensive line, you can have all day to build a house back there. So I know we don't face Philly till late in the season, but speaking from a Washington fan standpoint, with the upgrades of our offensive line, you see how lethal Jaden Daniels was when he had time. Just go check that Detroit game. Tonight's stat lines look like this, though. Jalen Hurts, 19 for 23, 152 yards through the air. And I know, again, that doesn't seem impressive, but he only missed a handful of throws. He made every single throw when it mattered. It's never going to be pretty with Jalen Hurts. He's never going to be Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Dak Prescott, even in terms of flame throwing, like he's never going to be that where he's just going to light you up for 350, 4 touchdowns. That's not his game. His game is a Russell Wilson prime Russell Wilson game. I'm going to take what the defense gives me. I'm going to dink and dunk. I'm going to make a big play, big throw here and there. And I'm going to utilize my legs because they can't stop me. And Dallas did not have an answer for his legs tonight as he had 14 carries for 62 yards and 2 touchdowns. It was easy. And again, say what you want about him. The one thing I like about Jalen Hurts, I like a lot about Jalen Hurts, I'm going to be honest. I just cannot like him because he plays for the Eagles. But the biggest thing I like about Jalen Hurts is that in the moment, in the biggest stage of them all, he finds a way to get it done. He finds a way to get it done. Every single time the stage is set, every single time it's just the only show in town is Philly. They ain't got to worry about QB1 not showing up. 2 Super Bowl games showed up. NFC Championship against my Washington Commanders showed up. And in the first game of the season, when it's just Dak and the Cowboys versus Philly and Philly and Jalen Hurts, he showed up. He showed up, man. What can we say? What can we say? On the ground, he was their leading rusher. And for me, when it comes to the most disappointing thing for Dallas is the game changed. First of all, let's talk about it. That weather delay-ish, come on, man. Like, I'm all for keeping football outside because I think that's its natural state. That's how football should be played, of course. But it's nights like this that remind you why teams in NFL are going more to domes. Because had that delay not have happened, I'm not sure how the game ends up. Because right before that delay, Dallas was driving. And Philly ends up coming with the turning point of the game. Think about it now. Prior to that turnover that Philly created, Miles Sanders putting it on a carpet. After having a nice run just a few plays before, Miles Sanders hit the outside, had a nice run prior to fumbling the goddamn ball, man. You cannot have that. When you're facing a team like Philly, you cannot give them extra possessions. And they were driving. They could not stop Dak in that offense. They were moving it up and down the field with ease. And I don't think they stop him. If it wasn't for the Miles Sanders turnover. And Lord knows, after that, that's when the lightning delay happens, the weather delay happens, and you're never the same. After you gotta now sit for an hour, bodies getting cold, cooling off, just sitting around, doing nothing. Now you gotta come back out, re-warm up. It's never the same. It's never the same. And although I don't think really nothing changed offensively for both teams, as it definitely was low scoring after the delay. I don't know if that's the case if the delay doesn't happen. But although both teams were still able to move the ball down the field, I'm just not sure if they're able to string together multiple stops if Dallas doesn't turn over the ball. And that's the name of the game, though. And that's the thing that they did the best last year was forced turnovers. So again, say what you want. In winning time moments, they always find a way. They always find a way, man. For the most part, both teams was playing clean ball. Only giving up 1 sack on Jalen Hurts of the day. Dak Prescott, not sacked at all. If you want to be honest, looking at the stats, Dallas was more efficient and effective offensively than Philly. Out beating them in first downs. Third down efficiency, you're 7 for 11, they're 8 for 13. So that's kind of even. On fourth down, you're 0 for 1. You needed that fourth down. Because that essentially ended the game right there. And Ceedee Lamb, you got to come up with that catch, man. I hate to be like that. But when you're supposed to be one of them ones, when you're supposed to be that guy, you can't be dropping that. And I know who's this couch potato talking. He never suited up in the NFL. He never suited up. He's not making that catch. But look, you are an NFL wide receiver, one of the highest paid in the game. I know Justin Jefferson coming up with that catch. I know Jamar Chase coming up with that catch. Hell, I know my boys coming up with that catch. Terry McLaurin. It'd be one thing had he just dropped one. Okay, cool. But Dak threw an absolute flame of a ball. Absolute flame of a ball for the game. You get that, you win. And you drop multiple passes. This game ain't on Dak Prescott. He came out. He ain't miss a beat. Again, like I opened the show, you can't tell me Dak Prescott missed a lot of the time last year. The way he was looking out there, he was looking money, if you ask me. Now, I did want to talk about this Dallas front because at times, for sure, they showed you why you missed Micah Parsons a whole lot because you was not able to get a lot of exterior pressure on Jalen Hurts today. But I will say, from speaking from a Washington fan, Sam Williams shouldn't be your primary pass rusher. He was getting his first start tonight, so I get that. But Dante Fowler needs to be your every down pass rusher. And that's saying a lot because he was supposed to be just a guy that comes in on key downs, on passing downs for us last year, but he ended up having 10.5 sacks. And tonight, he was able to get pressure on Jalen Hurts one play. And I said, hey, look at our old friend Dante Fowler. Like, they are going to have to find ways to get so creative with their pressure this offseason. Like, I like the Trayvon Diggs blitz. I like the Deron Bland blitz on both plays. It affected the quarterback. But that's where they're at now. They don't have anything on defensive line that can get you true pressure on a consistent basis. So you're going to have to get creative if you're Dallas. More cornerback blitzes. More linebacker blitzes over the top, and maybe it becomes different when you get a DeMario Overshown back at some point. But in terms of stopping the run, they said that they were bad at it. That's a big reason why they made the trade of Kenny Clark. It looked solid. It looked okay. Holding Saquon Barkley to 60 yards on 18 carries, that's not bad. So maybe they got something with Solomon Thomas and the new Kenny Clark. Maybe they got something with those guys in the middle. Diggy Zua, of course, right? But man, if Dallas played too good to lose this game tonight, man. If I'm being totally honest, Dallas should have won this game, man. They should have. They should have. I liked what they did with Kevon Turpin in the run game too. Forcing him to have to not forcing, but using him in the run game. I liked what I saw out of him in the run game from time to time. So, man, I'm not gonna say I feel for Dallas fans because somebody had to lose and they're both division rivals. But I know this was gonna sting for a while. If you're CeeDee Lamb, I know it. This is gonna be a rough 10 days for you, man. It's gonna be a rough 10 days because the game's literally in your hand at that point. In your hand. And you had an opportunity not once, but multiple occasions to end this game. You know what I mean? So, it's tough. But of course, shout out to Philly. As I say, they find ways to get it done. They find ways to get it done, man. 24-20 is your final score. And man, Dak played well. Ceedee played Ceedee had 100 yards tonight. But again, that's going to get overshadowed because of the mistakes that he caused. The biggest moments, Ceedee didn't show up. The game's in your hands. I will say, Jake Ferguson, tough mother effer. Because Reed Blankenship tried to kill him tonight, which ultimately also helped Dallas multiple times. Philly not being disciplined defensively. Now, I can't really blame Reed Blankenship too much for his play because he was just trying to make a play on the ball and he was running full head of steam and he probably couldn't stop in his tracks fast enough. But it sure was unnecessary roughness. But the Quinyon Mitchell one, pass interference, was it Quinyon Mitchell? I want to say it was Quinyon Mitchell on CeeDee Lamb early in the game. Come on. And then the one that wasn't called. I don't know if you guys saw this, but I felt like that one where Dak threw it in the seams to Jake Ferguson and Zach Bond was in coverage. Zach Bond didn't get his head around. So I don't know if the refs didn't see it. I don't know what it was. I don't know if you guys think that that's pass interference, but I personally felt like it was. My theory of pass interference is if you're not looking back at the ball and you got your head in the lap or the chest of the receiver and you're draped all over him, not like it's one thing. Obviously, you're not going to be able to know where the ball is exactly. But if you just make yourself turn in your head a little bit and make it look like you're looking for the ball, looking back for the ball, it's hard to throw a flag on you. But when you're all in the chest of a receiver, I feel like that's pass interference. But I did want to take a quick pause to say thank you for tuning into the premiere episode. This is the first episode of the Final Whistle. Every single game, all season long, Thursday night football, Sunday night football, Monday night football. You'll be here with your man Juan Gotti covering it all. And what better way to kick it off than my two arch rivals, Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles, as the Eagles got the victory 24-20 in the kickoff game of the season. If you guys like this and want to see more of it, let me know in the comments section. And let me know by showing some love and hitting the like and saying, Juan, I think you got one with this little series. I think it can grow. I think it could be something. But getting back into it, this game was damn good. It was. Like I said, I watch streams. Yes, I see your comment, but I'm talking about the game. I'm going to comment. I'm going to read all the comments in a minute. But this game was great, man. Like this was perfect to start off the season. You know, two hated rivals. You don't like to see Jalen Carter being nasty, right? You don't like to see him getting ejected. You don't like to see injuries on the first play. But that it was multiple fights that broke out. It was back and forth. Had this game again not been a weather delay, it's hard to believe that this game would have been 24-20 to end. I'm thinking 31, 27 maybe. At least. But of course, the weather delay played a thing. I want to show some love to the kickers. Because as a fan of a team that does not have a kicker, I envy both Dallas and Philly. But I'm going to start with the winning team. I'm going to start with the winning team. Hand off to Jake Elliott. Sending him out there for that 58-yarder was a way for him to get his swagger back. Was a way for him to build his confidence. Was a way to show him, hey, give an F about last year. Last year's last year. Put it in the past. Every good kicker has a season like that. Put it in the past. Let it be. Came out there and drilled an important 58-yard field goal. And Brandon Aubrey's Brandon Aubrey. I mean, what do we have to say about that? Probably the best kicker in the game. Probably the best kicker in the game, if we're being honest. It's so effortless for him. It's so effortless for him, man. And I just sit here and wish my team could come up and find one like this. Please. Having a kicker you don't have to worry about for the next 15 years is like having a quarterback you don't have to worry about for the next 15 years, man. It's lovely. It's lovely. Man, if I'm Philly, I'm happy about this win. For sure. You take them in any way you can get them. But it's hard to not be concerned about this defense. Especially when you go from Dallas to Kansas City next Sunday to LA to Tampa Bay. If you ask me, that's scary for this defense. You're at Kansas City. You play LA with the new revamped passing of Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua duo. Still got Kyron Williams on the ground as well. Then you go to Tampa Bay, and you know you can't beat Tampa Bay, Philly. You know you can't beat Tampa Bay. And this is a Tampa Bay team that's coming off of a great regular season last year. Baker Mayfield, 41 tuds, 4,000 passing yards. Man, I'm not saying you lose. I'm not at all saying you're going to lose these games. But what I'm saying is, offensively, you might got to score more than 24 points against all these teams. Because defensively, I think you just lack the talent. Again, I'm not discrediting Vic Fangio for his scheme. But again, I think a lot of why his scheme was so successful last year is because he had true dogs. He had true dogs. And now you lack severely in the pass rush department. Say what you want about the secondary. I think the secondary will end up being fine, especially the two, safeties and Reed Blankenship or two DBs and Reed Blankenship and Cooper DeJean. I think those guys would be good. And I think Quinyon Mitchell will figure it out, but I don't know about Ja'Cory Bennett. I don't know about Adoree Jackson. But I'm more concerned about your front seven. I did like what I seen out of Jahad Campbell today, though. He did have some nice plays. He looked solid. He looked really good. Had some nice key plays. But I think Philly's defense is Swiss cheese, man. I think especially for a team like LA that has a running game, they could find a way to have some success on the ground. And I think depending on how harsh the NFL is with this suspension of a Jalen Carter, that can come back to bite him. Chat, leave it down below in the comment section. How do you feel about the Jalen Carter thing? Because again, I know it's a disgusting act. I don't think it's right. It doesn't belong to be in this game. It doesn't belong to be in the world. You should never fix your lips to spit on anything, let alone another human. But that said, looking at the full replay, I think Dak antagonized him. I'm not gonna lie to you. Because although he didn't spit at Jalen Carter, he spit in the direction of him. And we'll never know what was truly said. But how long do you think Jalen Carter should be suspended for? Because it's not if he'll get suspended. It's how long is he going to be out? And I'll tell you this. If he misses that Rams game, uh-oh. Kyron Williams can have a legacy day. Because Jordan Davis is okay, but he's not Jalen Carter. And Isaiah Pacheco's back healthy, so you don't want to ignore Kansas City's run game neither. So although they got the victory tonight, their defense, man, it's some questions. It's true, some true questions with that defense. And then on the flip side for Dallas, I don't know. Hey, Dallas fans, if you're in the comment section, let me know how y'all are feeling about this game here. Because it stings. It stings because you outplayed them, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. You should have won this game. Dak, hell of a game, man. Hell of a game. But your upcoming schedule looks like Giants, so you'll bounce back more than likely, right? Then you got Chicago. I think that's a very winnable game. I know a lot of people are high on Chicago, but I think you can beat Chicago. You got Green Bay in Dallas. You're probably going to lose that one. Jordan Love's, well, I don't know, not even just Jordan Love, but anytime Green Bay sees Dallas, especially in Dallas, it's never a scurry. It's never a good thing for Dallas. So that's tough. But then you rebound against the Jets, right? You got Carolina after that. I think Carolina's going to be damn good. I think they're a sleeper team. I love Bryce Young. I think he's ascending at the right time. So that's a tough game there. I got Carolina with the upset. But needless to say, if I'm Dallas, I'm not really holding my head down low at all about this. Yeah, it sucks. Because you practically started the season off 0-2, if you want to be honest. 0-1 record-wise and 0-1 in the division. And in the fashion that you lost, it definitely sucks. But you got some winnable games coming up. And I know it may be too early. It may be too early to say. But I don't know, Chet. I like what I seen from Schottenheimer tonight, man. And they kept highlighting his pops. May he rest in peace, Marty Schottenheimer. But I like what I saw from his offense tonight. And he may be a Mike McCarthy disciple, like he may be under that tree. But I've always felt like Dallas needed to use Kevon Turpin in the run game more. He's a weapon, man. He's a weapon. He can do it all. Not just punt return, not just kick return. He can do it all. Had a nice couple curries tonight. Javonte Williams was able to run the ball pretty well as well. And Miles Sanders with the goddamn biggest play of the game with a nice run, but then follows it up with the turnover that, quite frankly, changed the game. But even that being said, Ceedee got to come up with one of those catches, man, if not both. Like, Dak placed that second pass so perfectly in between the safety and the cornerback, man. Like, you got to, and it hit his hands. That's what makes it so frustrating, too, to watch. It's like, it hit your hands, man. It hit your hands. You got to make that catch. But all in all, I think this was a good game. And if I'm a Cowboys fan, yeah, this one stings for the next 10 days. But y'all might be on to something. Because A lot of people, including myself, clowned you all for letting go of Micah Parsons, and we all were acting as if your season was just done. But you got 4 first-round picks in the next 2 years. You got a boatload of money. So I know a lot of people love to give Jerry Jones hell. That's the thing. But if you can revamp this offense, Dak's in year 10, so he's not getting any younger. So I don't want to look too far in the future and say, oh, you got a couple years. But if you can find a way to just get some type of pass rush, because I think ultimately that's your downfall. I think your run game, defensively wise, did get better. Obviously, Kenny Clark had a nice play tonight. And you got Odigizua. I like what I saw from Solomon Thomas, former 49er, former Raider, former Jet. Like, interiorly stopping the run, definitely got better. But now you have no pass rush. You relying on Sam Williams. Like I told you in a little bit earlier in the show, your best pass rusher is Dante Fowler. Your best pass rusher is Dante Fowler. So, if anything, that's who needs to be playing every down for you. That's who needs to be starting, not Sam Williams. He shouldn't be starting. No. But all in all, Philly got the W. Let me go ahead and step over here right quick and grab my phone, because I had my notes written down here. I had some notes I wanted to go over with you all before we got out of here. I gotta find my phone. Hey Siri. Man, I don't know where it's at, but I wanted to go over some post-game notes that stood out to me. Oh, it's right here. Some post-game notes that stood out to me before we get to the comment section. We'll be reading most of the comments here, but just want to recap my notes, rehash my notes before we get out of here. Saquon looked good on the ground, looked good as advertised, as he always does. He did have a drop. Both defenses look like food, as we already talked about. Eagles couldn't stop a nosebleed. Dallas couldn't really stop a nosebleed. But I will say, Philly had some chances to get off the field tonight. Right? George Pickens pass interference call. CeeDee Lamb pass interference call. Nolan Smith pass interference on Nolan Smith as well. So, or Nolan Smith had a pass interference. Like, they had opportunities to get off the field. And they didn't because of penalties. And you got to clean that up. I already told you, like what I saw from Javonte Williams. He looks solid. He looks really good. Former Denver Broncos running back. I will say, it's hard to truly judge them due to the fact that Jalen Carter did not play. So I don't know if their run game is really that much improved, or if it just was having success because no Jalen Carter. He makes a huge difference. Dante Fowler should be your primary pass rusher. This coming from a Commanders fan that's seen him put 10 sacks up last year. He had a nice play tonight. Jake Elliott, Brandon Aubrey looks good. Miles Sanders had a nice run, even though he had the biggest play of the game, arguably. And yeah, Byron Young with the forced fumble. That was essentially the game. Dak Prescott saved the tackle on that play. Because had he not made that tackle on that play, that's a touchdown. So, if anything, you can't blame Dak. With that being said, I'm going to get to some of your comments. And this is going to conclude the first episode of The Final Whistle with Juan Gotti. And again, if you are new, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We'll be doing this each and every game. Primetime game. Tomorrow we'll be back. Chargers Chiefs. Same thing. Get into the comments though. Samuel says Jalen Hurts has performed like this, and Eagles fans get mad at me when I call him a game manager. Hey, look, man. Again, Jalen Hurts is a guy that finds a way to win. Like, he say what you want about him, game manager, Black Alex Smith, which game managers aren't bad. Clearly, he's a Super Bowl champion. We just always say he's not a person that elevates his team around him. But he keep hooping like this. Because, again, he didn't do nothing crazy through the air. He just made all the right plays. That's the thing. And you got to give him the credit for it there. He made all the right plays, whether it's tucking it and running, whether it's rolling out the pocket, finding a receiver down the field, whether it's a beauty of a ball to Jahan Dotson just to lay it out there and let him go get it. Like, Hurts played a damn good game tonight, man. My guy, Armin Brown. Ceedee Lamb getting 136 million and dropping not only one but two game-defining catches, and y'all wonder why Terry ain't get 35 per year. Stop it. Hey, man, I'm right there with you in terms of Ceedee. You getting 136 mil. You can't have them drops, man. I know it's tough. I know it's easy for us to say because we're watching from the couch. We're not actually in the game, but man, you got to come up with that. When Dak throws a beauty of a ball like that, and you were having a stellar day up until that point, they couldn't guard you. That one got to hurt. That one got to sting, man. It got to sting. Tortor says, wonder what was said for him to spit on him. I think he was setting the tone, honestly. I mean, you can set the tone, but you don't got to spit to set the tone. Yelling back, you know what I'm saying? Talking back, you can do this. You can get in the face even. But to spit, come on, Tota. Or Tortor, sorry. Like, that's a whole nother level of disrespect. That's beyond football disrespect. That's worthy of you catching a hat, if you know what I mean. Like, spitting is probably the worst disrespect you can do to somebody, if we're being honest. Armin Brown says, these wide receivers threaten trades, hold out, talk all that trash, and drop balls when it matters most. I can't drop a football for 50,000. I could drop a football for 50,000. Man, what? Who you telling? Who you telling, man? And that's why I say, like, I get it's the heat of the moment, but come on, Ceedee. Not one. It's one thing if you drop one pass, but two, come on, man. Y'all heard my man Armin Brown. We're close to 11K subscribers. And this is the first episode of The Final Whistle with Juan Gotti, as we're premiering this. And we'll be here each and every primetime game, Thursday, Sunday, Monday, recapping it all. So we'll be back tomorrow following Chargers Chiefs here on the channel. And I look forward to hearing from you guys and seeing you guys show up for that. And don't hesitate to leave a comment down below. Let me know if you guys are enjoying this series. I know I'm a Washington Commanders YouTuber. Of course, I know that is. But this is something that is different that I'm thinking maybe you can hope, branch out my channel and get new subscribers, whether you're an Eagles, Cowboys, Chiefs, Chargers fan, something. So I just hope this journey that we're on together is something that can grow. Clint says Philly secondary soft as hell this shit, man. What? That secondary that defense looks Swiss cheese. Again, losing CJ Gardner-Johnson, say what you want about him. That's a loss. Losing Milton Williams, losing Josh Sweat, losing Brandon Graham. Those are major losses to this defense. Letting go of a veteran Darius Slay. I know it was a business decision. But as you see, Adoree Jackson ain't no better. We'll see what Jacorian Bennett turns out to be. But I don't know. I don't know if that comes back to bite you. Armin says if they had Micah, they would have won. Hurts would have probably been sacked. Yeah, Micah, not having Micah definitely played a factor into this game tonight. Definitely played a factor into this game tonight. LaRon Nipper says Philly and Dallas look equally trash tonight. Defensively, both teams look bad. Offensively, both teams look good. Especially Dak and the Cowboys. The Cowboys should have won this game, man. Dallas should have won. We being honest. But shoulda, woulda, coulda. Because the team that won is the team that often always win and find a way to do it in the clutch. Armin says, LeBron, the Eagles won without Jalen Carter. That's not trash. It's division, my friend. JD5, best QB in the East, man. Go ahead and say it. LeBron, Nipper, thank you so much for joining the Gotti gang. LeBron Nipper is now a part of the best family on YouTube, the Gotti gang. Make sure you join LeBron and do the same thing. Join the Gotti gang as exclusive content will be dropping for my members. Hey, thank you, LeBron. I appreciate you. Armin says, facts fry. Terry ain't dropping none of them. Hey, I'll tell you what. My boy Terry ain't got the greatest hands. But when it comes to contested catches, body catches, catches in the moment, oh, Terry wouldn't have dropped that. Terry wouldn't have dropped that. He wouldn't. My guy Chef says, Chef J Boog says, these defenses look wild. Not no lie. 5 gonna feast. 5 gonna feast, man. 5 is gonna have a day. I promise you. 5 is gonna have a day. Armin Brown says, I think CeeDee Lamb needs to go get his head checked. 136 million. He dropping balls in the fourth with his team needs the most. Can't have it. AJ Brown and 6 gonna be mad by October. Hey, look, I'm not surprised if they was mad tonight. I'm like, I can't find Arthur Juan. Where Arthur Juan at? Like, you can't find a way to get your man the ball the whole game? Like, no screen, no quick slant, no out route, no motion inside to a drag. Like, nothing to get the ball into your hands of A.J. Brown and or Devonta Smith. He finally got a catch on the final drive, but sheesh. Herman says, we're going to have a field day with the Cowgirls and Eagles. Hey, man, I hope so. I hope so, man. Especially, again, these teams both lack pass rush. Just do me a favor if you can't remember vividly, which I find it hard for you not to be able to remember this vividly. But if you want to know what Jaden Daniels looked like when he has all day in the pocket, just look at the Detroit game. Just look at the Detroit game. Polo, Eagles ain't repeating? Probably not. Probably not. Armin Brown says that's why Terry ain't get 35 per million. Wide receivers are delusional. If you make 136 million, you have to catch the ball with the game on the line. Cowboys receivers got it done tonight. LOL. John D says, Juan, what in the Eagles? He says, Juan, what's is a Eagles? Or what's is a Eagles? I could drop the ball pause for 50K per year. These dudes threatening the whole trades and holdouts and dropping the football in the fourth, man. Like and subscribe. You heard my guy. Armin, man. You heard my guy. And people say Ceedee better than Terry. If it wasn't for Ceedee having no hands, they would have won. Yeah. Stefan, what's good, my boy? What's up? And if Terry is put in a position like that where we have to make a game and a touchdown, I trust him without a doubt. Without a doubt, Terry ain't dropping that. Terry is not dropping that pass whatsoever. Terry McLaurin is making that catch. Let's see if we can get some more comments in here. Jalen, my bro, got off the phone with him. Quotes, literally, he spat at me first and said some disrespectful ish. Oh, okay. Jalen's my bro. So he said Jalen Carter's his bro. And he said that he said that he spit at me first and said some disrespectful thing. I mean, look, whether it's truth to that or not, you did see Dak Prescott say some stuff first, and then you did see him spit like in his direction. But it's always the second person to get caught. I know Jalen Carter ain't just do it like just cause he walked up to Dak and say, just cause. It's always a cause and effect for everything. We know that. I can't help but wonder how our defense is playing against, man. Our defense is gonna play against these teams. Our run defense is gonna have to be way better against Philly. For sure. Tyrone says, I rock with it, Juan. This is a smart play, streaming night games of the season. Yeah. All right, bet. We're gonna do it. All season long. Catch your man Gotti. Final whistle after every primetime game. So we'll be back here tomorrow night. Following Chiefs Chargers for the final whistle with your man Juan Gotti. But yeah, I think that's all for tonight. 32 people in here, man. Hopefully by the end of the year, we're going to manifest to at least have 100 people watching. But it definitely was a fun game. Delays, drop passes, spitting, fighting. All sounds like an NFC East clash to me, man. And we'll get to see these two teams lock horns in week 12 again for the second time. Andrew says Cedarian DeLon Lamb should change his number after that because he can't wear 88 after that performance, man. They going to be on Ceedee Lamb head for the next 10 days, man. And it's going to be a tough next 10 days with Ceedee because he know better. Trey says Hurts out to prove he a game changer, man. Look, Hurts hooped tonight. Again, the stats ain't going to show it, right? 152 yards may not be ultra impressive on the stat sheet, but if you watch the game, he does what he does all the time. Makes every single play when it needs to be matter. That's the thing that if I could build my personal quarterback, and if it was to say there was one trait I would take away from Jalen Hurts, it would say to have his clutch genes or to have the moment ain't too big for him, Gene, because the moment's never too big for him, man. Never. And I don't know if that goes back to his days at Alabama, Oklahoma, the 2 Super Bowl appearances. Like, the moment is never too big for him, man. And he always makes the right throw, makes the right read, whether it's to tuck it and run. Again, 14 carries for 52, 60 yards, between 50 to 60 yards tonight. Joseph says, dope. Appreciate you. And this is definitely going to be a fun journey this year. It's definitely going to be a fun journey this year, man. Definitely is. So I'm welcoming everybody on this journey. Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, Chiefs, Chargers tomorrow. Then Sunday night, we got Bills, Raven fans. Like, we're doing this all year long, man. We grinding. We are currently at 10,926 subscribers. So hopefully we can get to 11K very, very soon. Very, very soon. I would love to get it done by Sunday, but I don't know if we're going to be able to get there by Sunday, but hopefully, as we are very, very close. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here, slide to the side. It's 1:30 a.m. Obviously, we know due to the weather delay, it wouldn't have been this late, but it's all about the grind, baby. CeeDee Lamb couldn't catch a cold in a snowstorm. Devonta Smith, A.J. Brown, possibly third options, and Jahan, who I knew is a deep threat plan, is there to the strength that's questionable. Yeah, Jahan Dawson, your leading receiver, man. It's something about that. I put him more on the offensive play caller, though, than A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. Again, you got 2 of the best receivers in the game, and you can't get the ball to them until the last play, the last drive of the game. That's ridiculous, if you ask me. That's ridiculous. But we'll see how both teams bounce back and move on to the next round. But that being said, it's always being boy Juan Gotti. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know how you guys are feeling about this new series, The Final Whistle, with your man, JG. Catch y'all tomorrow night, concluding the Chiefs Chargers. Peace.